Hello everyone, this is Al Red Sox Fan coming to you from Al Red Sox Fan YouTube station, and we're going to continue with our one and done playoff tournament. First game, quarterfinals, round 2, to see who will be the first semifinal team in the National League bracket, and it will pit the number 8 seeded 1990 Cincinnati Reds versus the home team, the number 5 seed St. Louis Cardinals of 1982. The Reds sported a record of 91 wins and 71 losses and upset the Oakland Athletics in the 1990 World Series. While the 1982 St. Louis Cardinals had a record of 92 wins and 70 losses and defeated the Milwaukee Brewers in the 1982 World Series. So let's quickly go to the lineups. The Reds got here by upsetting the number 1 seeded 86 New York Mets. And St. Louis defeated the number 7 seeded Philadelphia Phillies of 1980. And that's how both these teams have gotten to the second round, the quarterfinals. Who will be the first team to the semifinals National League bracket? I will be managing the Cincinnati Reds of 1990. The computer will be managing the 1982 St. Louis Cardinals. So for the 8th seed Reds, leading off playing left field is Hatcher. First base, batting second, Morris. Batting third, the shortstop, Larkin. Batting fourth, the right fielder, O'Neill. Batting fifth, the center fielder, Davis. Batting sixth, the second baseman, Oster. Batting seventh, the third baseman, Sabo. Batting eighth and doing the catching, Oliver. Batting ninth and doing the pitching, Tom Browning. He had a record of 15 wins, 9 losses, earned run average 3.80. Teams batted .266 off him. Now for the hometown, number 2 seeded St. Louis Cardinals. Batting first, playing left field, Lonnie Smith. Batting second, playing third base, Orge. Batting third, the right fielder, Hendrick. Batting fourth, the first baseman, Hernandez. Batting fifth, the center fielder, McGee. Batting sixth, the Wizard of Oz, Ozzie Smith, playing shortstop. Batting seventh, the second baseman, Ramsey. Batting eighth, and doing the catching, G. Tennis. Lots of playoff experience there. And batting ninth, doing the pitching, Bob Forsch. Record of 15-9 with 1 save in 1982. Earned run average 3.84. Batting average against .268. Left-handed batters hit .283 off Forsch. Right-handers .254. Here we go. Behind the plate, you have Gene Tennis. Not very good defensively, but an average arm. At third base, a very good hitting off left-handed pitching, Dane Orge. Not much with the range, though, but he will field pretty much anything that's hit at him. 1,000 fielding percent. Ozzie Smith, absolutely outstanding at short. A solid defender in Mike Ramsey at second, 8 out of 10 range. And another excellent fielder at the corner, Keith Hernandez. In left field, you have Lonnie Smith, who's all of his speed but doesn't have much range. 4 out of 10 range, above average arm though, 6 out of 10. Willie McGee, excellent in center field, 9 out of 10 range, 7 out of 10 arm. George Hendrick in right, average range with an above average arm. So Billy Hatcher to lead off here for the Cincinnati Reds of 1990. Who will be the first team in the National League bracket to the semifinals? We shall see over this next 45 minutes to an hour. Billy Hatcher in the one and done tournament, batting .250, no home runs, no RBIs. He's 1 for 4. In actuality, he batted .276, 5 home runs and 25 runs driven in with 68 runs scored. He's a right-handed batter to face the right-handed Bob Forsch. Hatcher batted .296 off right-handed pitching in 1990. Forsch gets the sign from Gene Tennis. Here's the pitch to Billy Hatcher. Hatcher grounds Ozzie Smith over to Keith Hernandez for out number 1, the Wizard of Oz. Gets the first out of the inning. And here comes Hal Morris. Left-handed batting first baseman, inserted in the lineup because of his batting average against right-handers. And that's .378 in 1990. In the one-and-done tournament, he's batting 1,000. No home runs, no RBIs. He had a pinch hit, 1 for 1, and it was a double. In actuality, he batted .340, 7 home runs, 36 runs driven in. A righty-lefty matchup here for Bob Forsch. Looks in at tennis, nods his head. Here's the pitch to Morris. And Morris sends that ball out to Willie McGee in center for out number 2. McGee didn't even have to move. Morris played well. Excellent scouting there by the Cardinals. So 2 outs, no one on. Here comes Barry Larkin. Shortstop. He's 0 for 3 so far in this tournament. He does have 1 RBI and 1 run scored. In actuality, in 1990, he batted .301, 7 home runs, 67 runs driven in, 85 runs scored. And off right-handed pitching, .319. Forsch toes the rubber. He's looking for a 1-2-3 inning here for the Cardinals. Tennis sets the target. Here's the pitch to Barry Larkin. 2 outs, no one on. Larkin grounds to Smith, over to Hernandez. 1-2-3 go the Reds. They do not score in the top of the first. We go to the bottom of the first. 2 up for St. Louis with no score. Lonnie Smith, Dane Orge, and George Hendrick. And we have Beatles eternally in the chat. How are you, my friend? Hope all is well. How goes the Netherlands? Any gigs tonight, my friend, or today? So, Tom Browning on the mound for the Cincinnati Reds, as I stated earlier. 15 wins, 9 losses, 3.80 earned run average. Batting average against .266. Left-handers hit Browning for .253 average. Righty did a bit better, .269. Behind the plate, you have Joe Oliver, excellent defensive catcher with an above-average arm. You have Chris Sable at third, 6 out of 10 range. And you have Barry Larkin, outstanding at short. Up the middle, his partner, Ron Oster, not so good. 3 out of 10 range, though his fielding percentage is .982, so he'll field pretty much anything hit at him. He won't make the spectacular play, most likely, though. You have Hal Morris, an average fielding first baseman when it comes to range. In left field, you have Billy Hatcher. Hatcher is 8 out of 10 range with a below-average arm of 4 out of 10. Eric Davis in center. Excellent arm, 7 out of 10, but below-average range. And then Paul O'Neill, 6 out of 10 range, 7 out of 10 arm. Very solid in right field. Beatles eternally says, I hate the Netherlands. Anyhow, missed your games, my friend. Well, we're back, Beatles, with a doubleheader today. We got both games of the quarterfinals in the National League bracket. So Lonnie Smith to lead off. Lonnie Smith's 0 for 4 in this one-and-done tournament. In actuality, he batted .307, 8 home runs, 69 runs driven in, scored 120 times. Off right-handed pitching, .302. He's a 10 out of 10 bunter. The Reds playing their infield normal. We're going to go for a... of course, now I don't manage. I was right about to lay down a bunt. I'm like, I don't manage them. I got all excited. I saw 10 out of 10 bunter. So Browning on the mound. Oliver goes through the signs. Browning nods his head. Here's the pitch to Smith, and we're actually going to move our corners in, as he is a 10 for 10 bunter. So Sabo in at third, Morrison at first. Here's the pitch to Lonnie Smith, and he lines out. So Morris, great reaction by Hal Morris. That was more of a self-preservation play, as that was a hard-hit shot right at him. Morris showing cat-like reflexes playing in. So 1 away. Beatles Eternal says, cool, baseball cheers me up, and I need it today. Beatles, you're in the right place, my friend. Turn that frown upside down, make it a smile. We're here for the duration. It's Baseball Saturday! Alrighty. So 1 out, Dane Orge steps to the plate. Orge, .250. 1 for 4 in the tournament so far. In actuality, 294 batting average. No home runs, 34 runs driven in. Off left-handed pitching, 400. That's why he's inserted in the lineup. To face the left-handed throwing Tom Browning. Lefty-lefty matchup. Oliver sets the target. The windup and the pitch by Browning. And that is ripped foul down the right field line. The count on Dane Orge is now no balls, 2 strikes. And we're going to go with a little pitch around here. We're going to go pitch mode. Browning nods his head. He sets and delivers to Orge. And it's a grounder to Oster. Over to Morris. Out number 2. How do you do? Out number 2. As Beatles eternally in the chat says, LOLL, you are a silly BASTARD. You can't actually say that, I just added that. So, alright, 2 outs. And here comes George Hendrick. Look at him with that mustache. I love it. Very daunting looking. Hendrick batting 250. He's 1 for 4 in the tournament. No home runs, no RBIs. In actuality, batted 282 in 1982. With 19 home runs, 104 runs driven in, and off right-handed pitching, off left-handed pitching, 305. Lefty-righty matchup here for Tom Brown. Looks in at Oliver, nods his head. Here's the pitch to Hendrick. Hendrick grounds to Morris, takes it to the bag himself. 1, 2, 3 go the Cardinals. We go to the top of the second, no score. 2 up for the Reds, Paul O'Neill, Eric Davis, and then Oster, the second baseman. So here comes Paul O'Neill, the intense one I like to call him. Batting 250, no home runs, 1 RBI, so he's also 1 for 4 in this tournament. I suggest if you haven't seen when they played the Mets in their first series, check it out. What an unbelievable comeback. I mean, I've given away who won. Obviously, you know the Reds won, but it was wild and woolly in Shea Stadium in Game 1. All right, in actuality, O'Neill batted 270, 16 home runs, 78 runs driven in. And we have Mr. ID Gesture in the house as he says, let's go Cards. ID Gesture, a good friend of the channel from Florida. Health and happiness to you, my good friend. How goes the cleanup from the hurricane? I know things were going pretty good. Check out ID Gesture's channel. Absolutely fabulous. That's ID Gesture. Beatles says hello to ID. ID says what's up. Here we go. Back to the ball game. O'Neill digs in that left-hander's batter's box. Bob Forsch gets the sign from Gene Tennis. He sets and delivers to O'Neill. And he strikes Paul O'Neill out. Gets him with a big swing and a miss on the off-speed pitch. So 1 away. And here comes Eric Davis for the Cincinnati Reds. Davis is 0 for 4 in this tournament. In actuality, in 1990, batted 260, 24 home runs, 86 runs driven in to go along with 84 runs. Off left-handed pitching, off right-handed pitching, 248. The windup and the pitch to Davis. And he strikes him out. Bob Forsch strikes out the first 2 batters, and he looks at ID Gesture and points and says, those are for you, my friend. All right, so 2 outs, no one on. Here comes Ron Oster. Ron Oster, who doesn't like toasters, is batting 200. No home runs, no RBIs. In actuality, 299. No homers and 13 runs driven in. 1 for 5 in this tournament. Remember, you lose, you snooze. You win, you're in. 2 outs, no one on. Righty-lefty matchup. As Oster, the switch hitter, will be batting left-handed. Off right-handed pitching, 298. 4 out of 10 bunter. Forsch looks in at Tennis. He's ready to work. Here's the pitch to Oster. And that ball sent out to Hendrick in right field, and he can't make the catch as it goes foul. Tribes fan, how you doing, my friend? Hope all is well. Tribes fan, I'm going to tell you how you can get that game. Go on YouTube, type in Mobdro, and see how you can download that app, because that streams everything and it's free. So anyhow, that's if you want to do it. I use the app, it's excellent. And that's Mob, M-O-B-D-R-O, Mobdro. Go. So anyhow, hope all is well, and I hope your Indians clinch tonight. Alright, so the count is no balls, 2 strikes on Ron Oster. 2 outs, he's looking to extend the inning here. Top of the second, no score. Bob Forsch rocks and fires. Oster rips a double to left center. So Rob Oster comes through. Rod Oster, get it right now, Red Sox fan. We're just going to call him Tim, okay? Anyway, Oster's at second. Here comes Chris Sabo, the goggled wonder. Sabo batting .400, 1 home run, 3 RBIs. He's 2 for 5 in this tournament. He did have a big error in Game 1 against the Mets, but he made amends for it with the home run. In actuality, he batted .270, 25 round trippers, 71 runs driven in to go with 95 runs scored. He has a duck out on the pond, and that's Ron Oster at second base, who's 6 out of 10 base running ability. 2 outs. Here's the pitch to Sabo. And Sabo lines out Ozzie Smith, showing excellent range there. Threat averted. We go to the bottom of the second. No score. Due up for the St. Louis Cardinals, who have dedicated this game to ID gesture in the chat. Hernandez, McGee, and Smith. So Keith Hernandez batting .600, no home runs, no RBIs. 3 for 5 with a double in this tournament. In actuality, batted .299, 7 home runs, 94 runs driven in, 79 runs scored. Lefty-lefty matchup. Hernandez batted .284 off left-handed pitching. Browning looks in at Oliver, nods his head. He rocks and fires. Here's the pitch. Hernandez singles to left field. Nice job by Hernandez. He took the pitch where it was and went the other way. A leadoff single for Keith Hernandez. Seven out of 10 base runner. He'll be held on by Hal Morris at first. And here comes Willie McGee, the number 5 batter, batting .200 with a ribby. He's 1 for 5. In actuality, in 1982, .296, 4 home runs, 56 runs driven in, 43 runs scored. It's a 7 out of 10 hit and run. I wonder if they'll put a play on here. He's not a good bunter, 2 out of 10. Reds looking to turn 2 up the middle with Larkin and Oyster. Browning's ready. Here's the pitch to McGee. And that's a line out to Eric Davis in center. You can't hit the ball any harder than that, but unfortunately hit it right at Davis. So 1 away, 1 on, and here comes the Wizard of Oz. Cardinals shortstop Ozzie Smith, batting .666. Spooky. No home runs, no RBIs. In actuality, we're going to say .667. I like that better. As we look over here at .667, we're going to give that. So, he's 2 for 3 in the tournament, and he's scored 3 runs. In actuality, .248 batting average, 2 home runs, 43 RBIs, 58 runs scored. 1 out, 1 on. Hernandez at first, held on by Morris. Browning's ready to work to Ozzie Smith. Here's the pitch. Smith singles to right. O'Neill fields it and throws it back in towards the infield. Hernandez stops at second base, so 2 on, 1 out. Hernandez in scoring position for Mike Ramsey. Ramsey's also batting .667, 2 for 3 with 2 RBIs in this one-and-done tournament. That was in Game 1. In actuality, Ramsey batted .230, 1 home run, 21 runs driven in to go with 18 runs scored. Off left-handed pitching, .228. So he's a 10 out of 10 bunter. 6 out of 10 hit and run. I don't think he's going to be bunting with 1 out, though. We're going to play our infield normal. Oliver sets the target. Here's the pitch to Ramsey. It is a bunt. They only plays the first, and they get him, so they do sacrifice with 1 out. There's now 2 outs. Hernandez advances to third, Ozzie Smith at second. Here comes Gene Tennis, who has a ton of playoff experience with the Oakland A's, St. Louis Cardinals. Then eventually, was he on the San Diego Padre World Series team in '84? I don't know. He is sporting a Padres cap, but I don't know if he was on that '84 team. He could have been. I have to look that up. So he has 2 ducks on the pond for him. 2 outs, 2 on. Browning toes the rubber. Looks in at Oliver. Nods his head. Oliver sets the target. Here's the pitch to Gene Tennis. And he strikes him out. Inning over. 2 runners stranded. We go to the top of the third. No score here at Busch Stadium. Due up for the Cincinnati Reds, Oliver, Browning, then the top of the order, Billy Hatcher. So here's the catcher, Joe Oliver. Oliver is 0 for 2 in this one-and-done tournament. In actuality, in 1990, he batted .231, 8 home runs, 52 runs driven in. He only batted .179 off right-handed pitching, but he's a very good defensive catcher, so we inserted him in the lineup. As Beatles Eternally in the chat says, LOL, I'm not a fan of football. I'm a hopeless baseball junkie. ID Jester says, just like Al, LOL. I like football too, though, but I do love my baseball. Alright, so Joe Oliver to lead it off here. Forsch rubs up the baseball, steps back up on the mound. He sets and delivers to Oliver. That's a bouncer to Ozzie Smith, who fires over to Hernandez for out number 1. And here comes the pitcher, Tom Browning. Browning batted below 100 in 1990, .093 with 4 RBIs. Righty-lefty matchup. He'll be taking. Here's the pitch by Forsch. Strike 1. All right, Browning steps back in that left-hander's batter's box. He's ready to grip and rip now. No balls, 1 strike. Tennis sets the target. Here's the pitch by Bob Forsch. And Browning grounds it back to the pitcher, who goes to Hernandez for out number 2. Top of the order now, Billy Hatcher. Hatcher's 0 for 1, 7 out of 10 bunting. Cardinal infield normal. We're going to drop one down. Here's the pitch by Forsch. Hatcher looking for the bunt base hit. He drops down a good one. They throw to first. Not in time. Hatcher beats it out. So Billy Hatcher extends this inning. 9 out of 10 base runner. 67% chance of stealing second base. Expo Baseball in the house. How are you? That's Espo Strat Baseball. He has a nice channel too. Check that out. That's Espo, E-S-P-O, Strat Baseball. He's doing a project with Earl without the E on tabletop. And are you also doing the project with Stratomatic Delaware and Chris? Check out that channel too. That's a wonderful channel. Lots of great baseball channels on YouTube. You got ID Gesture, who also does other things. You've got Tabletop Baseball, Stratomatic Delaware, Espo Strat Baseball, Higher Ground Gaming with Eric and Mr. Brody, Baseball Demos, just to name a few. Very fun channels. Alright, Billy Hatcher on first. Hernandez holding him on. Hal Morris 0 for 1 steps to the plate. Morris fly to center in the first inning. Bob Forsch looks over at Hernandez. And you know what? We're going to steal. We're going to have Hatcher go. Here's the pitch. Hatcher's on the way to throw down, and he slides in safe. The tag by Smith is too late. The count on Hal Morris now is no balls, 1 strike. Hatcher in scoring position here for the 1990 Cincinnati Reds. Morris now has a chance to knock in that duck off the pond. No balls, 1 strike. Tennis flashes the sign. Bob Forsch nods his head. He sets and delivers to Morris. And he walks. So first and second, 2 outs for the very dangerous Barry Larkin. Larkin's 0 for 1. He grounded to short in the first inning. 2 outs, 2 on. Larkin, 8 out of 10 bunter, 8 out of 10 hit and run, but he's up there to grip and rip, folks. Larkin only had 7 home runs, though, in 1990. Gene Tennis goes out to have a word with Bob Forsch. Hernandez meets him on the mound. It's a quick meeting. Both players back to their positions. Tennis back behind the plate. He squats down. Flashes his fingers. Forsch nods his head. Tennis sets the target. Here's the pitch to Barry Larkin. And Larkin walks! Wow, so after getting 2 quick outs in the top of this inning to start it off, Bob Forsch then gives up a bump base hit to Billy Hatcher and walks. Morris and Larkin back-to-back bases are now loaded for the intense one. Paul O'Neill. O'Neill 0 for 1. He struck out in the second. No place to put Paul. Forsch asks for a new baseball. Tennis gets it from the umpire. Lobs it out to Forsch. He rubs it up. Rubs it up. Now he's ready. He steps back up on that mound. He toes that rubber. Looks in at Tennis. Nods his head. Here's the pitch to O'Neill. And he just walked O'Neill. A run scores. The 1990 Cincinnati Reds go up 1-0 RBI for Paul O'Neill. That's 3 consecutive walks by Bob Forsch. Base is still loaded. 2 outs. All coming with 2 outs, mind you. Eric Davis steps to the plate. He's 0 for 1. Struck out in the second. Reds can break this game open here. No place to put Davis. Again, Forsch rubs up that baseball. Steps back up on the mound. He rocks and delivers to Davis. Oh my lord, another walk. It's 2-0 Cincinnati. As now St. Louis gets some, quickly gets some bullpen action up. And here comes Ron Oster. He's 1 for 1. He doubled in the second inning. 2-0. And that is 4 consecutive walks after 2 outs. Wow. Tennis again goes out to have a quick word with Bob Forsch. Now back behind the plate. 2 outs, bases loaded. Ron Oster at the plate. Switch hitter batting left-handed. Again, he doubled in the second inning. If you're thinking grand salami, think not. He didn't have a home run in 1990. Forsch nods his head. Here's the pitch to Oster. Grounded back to Forsch. Over to Hernandez. Inning over. But what a sloppy inning after the first 2 outs. Bunt base hit and then walk. We go to the bottom of the third. 2-0 Cincinnati. Due up for the 1982 St. Louis Cardinals. The pitcher Bob Forsch. Then the top of the order, Lonnie Smith and Dane Orge. So here's Bob Forsch. In 1982 batted .205. That's not bad for a pitcher. No home runs, 3 RBI, 7 runs scored. Browning's ready. Here's the pitch. And that's a grounder to Sabo, and Sabo boots the ball. Oh, that's his second error in 2 games. Ouch. Oh, my Lord. So Bob Forsch reaches on the E5. Chris Sabo, top of the order now. Tying run comes to plate, Lonnie Smith. Hal Morris holding Forsch on, who's an average base runner, 5 out of 10. Lonnie Smith had 8 home runs in 1982, excuse me. He's 0 for 1 today. Line to first base. Lefty-righty matchup for Tom Browning. Oliver sets the target. Here's the pitch to Smith. And that ball goes out to Eric Davis in center field. He moves a little bit to his right, makes the catch for out number 1. Retreating back to first base is Bob Forsch. Here comes Dane Orge. Cardinal third baseman's 0 for 1 today. Grounded to second. Reds looking to turn 2, pitcher's best friend, as they pinch the middle with Larkin and Oster. Here's the pitch to Orge. It's a grounder to Larkin. Oh, to Morris. Double play. Inning over. So the Chris Sabo error does not hurt. We go to the top of the fourth. The 1990 Cincinnati Reds 2. The 1982 St. Louis Cardinals nothing. The winner of this game will advance to the semifinals in the National League bracket. And I shall be back in a moment. And we are back. Thank you for your patience. So, due up for the Reds, Sabo, Oliver, and Browning. Chris Sabo 0 for 1 with an error. He lined to short in the second inning. 5 out of 10 bunter. Bob Forsch looking to avoid the walks like in the top of the third. Nods his head. Here's the pitch to Sabo. And that ball goes deep and off the left field wall. Sabo has a leadoff double. He just missed a home run by a couple of feet. And here comes Joe Oliver, the catcher. He's 0 for 1. 6 out of 10 bunter. He grounded to short. Cardinals have their infield normal. On deck is the pitcher, Browning. You know what? We're going to lay the sacrifice bunt down anyway. Tennis sets the target. Here's the pitch by Bob Forsch. Oliver squares the bunt. He puts it down. Oh, they go to third. They nail Sabo. Orge puts the tag on him. What a play by Bob Forsch. Quickly coming off the mound and spinning and throwing to Dane Orge, who applied the tag on Chris Sabo. Oliver reaches on the fielder's choice. 4 out of 10 base runner. Corners are in for Tom Browning. He's a 10 out of 10 bunter. Bob Forsch gets a sign from Gene Tennis. He sets and delivers. Here comes the bunt. They throw over to first. Oliver's back. Hernandez applies the tag, but too late. Again, corners in. Origin at third, Hernandez in at first for St. Louis. Oliver at first base, Tom Browning, the pitcher, at the plate. He squares once again for the bunt. Here's the pitch. He puts it down. The only play is the first. Ramsey covering on the wheel play. There's 2 outs now. Oliver advances to second base. He's in scoring position for Billy Hatcher, who's 1 for 2. His 1 hit, a bunt single in the third. Before that, he grounded out to short in the first inning. Chance to add another run for the Reds as Oliver's in scoring position. 2 outs, 1 on. The windup and the pitch to Billy Hatcher. And he strikes him out. Inning over. And we go to phone delay. Be right back. Phone delay over. We are back. Alrighty. We go to the bottom of the fourth, 2-0 Reds. Due up for the Cardinals of 1982, George Hendrick, Keith Hernandez, and Willie McGee. If anyone gets on, the Wizard of Oz, Ozzie Smith. As Beatles says, phone delay? Question mark. That's a new one. Well, it happens. Phone delay. Hendrick 0 for 1 as I stated, grounded to first in the first inning. Browning has only given up 2 hits in his first 3 innings. Lefty-righty matchup. Here's the pitch to George Hendrick. And that's a single to right center. Hendrick made a wide turnaround first, but thought better of it and retreated back. So a leadoff single by George Hendrick, 5 out of 10 base runner, 20% chance of stealing second base. Hal Morris holding him on, and here comes the dangerous Keith Hernandez. He's 1 for 1. Hernandez singled in the second. If you're thinking game-tying home run, Hernandez had 7 round trippers to go with his 94 RBIs in 1982. Oliver flashes the fingers. Browning nods his head. Here's the pitch to Keith Hernandez. And that goes to Larkin to Oster to Morris. Double play! The pitcher's best friend comes through once again. As the Cardinals fans clap along to the organist, trying to rev up Willie McGee to extend this inning with 2 outs and no one on. McGee 0 for 1, 9 out of 10 bunter. Corners will move in for the Cincinnati Reds. Sabo, who's been an adventure at third base these first 2 games. He might even have 3 errors now that I think about it. He might have had 2 in the first game. I have to look that up. So Sabo in at third, Morris in at first to defend against the bunt by Willie McGee. Again, he's a 9 out of 10 bunter. 0 for 1. He lined to center in the second inning. Righty-lefty matchup. The windup and the pitch by Tom Browning. McGee swings and misses. Inning over. So we go to the top of the 5th, 2-0. Cincinnati Reds of 1990 over the 1982 St. Louis Cardinals. 2 up for the Reds. Hal Morris, Barry Larkin, and Paul O'Neill. If anyone gets on, Eric Davis. As the chat's having a good old time with my phone delay, they're saying it's French. Possibly the name of a restaurant. I don't know. It could be. So Hal Morris 0 for 1, 7 out of 10 bunter. He flied to center in the first, walked in the third. Left-handed batter, he's going to drop one down. Let's see if we can fool them. Cardinal infield normal. Here's the pitch by Forsch. Morris bunting for the hit. He puts down a pretty good one. The throw to first, and they don't get him! That extra step he has from the left-hander's batter's box works out. Morris has himself a bunt base hit. That's the second bunt base hit for the Reds. A leadoff bunt base hit. Morris 7 out of 10 base runner. Hernandez to hold him on. Here comes Barry Larkin. Larkin 8 out of 10 hit and run. He's 0 for 1. Grounded to short in the first and walked in that third inning where Bob Forsch just lost total control and walked 2 runs in. Thus the 2-0 lead for the Reds. We're going to play some hit and run here. Gene Tennis sets the target. The windup and the pitch by Bob Forsch. Hit and run on. There goes the runner, grounder to Hernandez. He flips to Forsch for the out, advancing to second base and in scoring position, Hal Morris, 7 out of 10 base runner. Excellent opportunity here for Paul O'Neill. He's 0 for 1. Struck out in the second, then walked in the third. He got an RBI as it forced Hatcher in. So 1 out, 1 on. Righty-lefty matchup for Bob Forsch. Toes the rubber, looks in at Gene Tennis, nods his head. Here's the pitch to O'Neill. O'Neill grounds it to Ramsey, over to Hernandez for out number 2. Advancing to third base is Hal Morris. 90 feet away from a third run, the Cincinnati Reds are. And here comes Eric Davis. He's 0 for 1. Struck out in the second, then he walked, which scored Larkin. So he has an RBI thanks to the walks by Bob Forsch in the third inning. So 2 outs, runner at third. Davis at the plate, digs in that right-hander's batter's box. He's ready to grip and rip. The windup and the pitch by Bob Forsch. Davis swings, sends that ball deep, and Lonnie Smith makes the catch in left center field right at the wall. Inning over. Well, the top of the inning over. We go to the bottom of the 5th, still 2-0 Cincinnati. 2 up for the 1982 St. Louis Cardinals. Ozzie Smith, then Ramsey and Gene Tennis. Tom Browning back out on the hill. Browning so far has thrown 4 innings of 3-hit shutout ball. 49 pitches, he's good for 115. Ozzie Smith, 1 for 1. Singled in the second. Lefty-righty matchup. Sabo and Morris will come in at the corners. So Sabo in at third, Hal Morris in at first to defend against Ozzie Smith, who's an 8 out of 10 bunter. Browning nods his head, he rocks and fires. Here's the pitch to Smith. And that ball is a double to center field, as that ball quickly got by Eric Davis, who retrieved it and threw it back into the infield. So a leadoff double by Ozzie Smith, and that should make ID Gesture very happy. Here comes Mike Ramsey. Ramsey, 10 out of 10 bunter, 6 out of 10 hit and run again. We're going to have to play our corners in. Sabo in at third, Morris in at first. Ramsey had a sacrifice bunt his first time up. Browning rocks and fires. And that bunt goes foul. So the count's now no balls, 2 strikes. We're going to play our infield normal. Oh-2 count on Ramsey. Oliver sets the target. Browning sets and delivers. Ramsey swings, pops it up in foul territory. Morris runs over, but runs out of room. It goes into the stands near the first base dugout. Count stays no balls, 2 strikes. Ramsey steps back in the batter's box. Digs in. The windup and the pitch by Tom Browning. Grounded to Morris, who flips to Browning, covering first base for out number 1, but advancing to third is Ozzie Smith. Gene Tennis comes to the plate. Chance for an RBI is 90 feet away for Chino. He's 0 for 1 today. He struck out in the second. A ton of playoff experience for Gene Tennis. All those Oakland A's teams in the 70s. Reds will give up the run to get the out. Oliver flashes the signs. Browning nods his head. Here's the pitch to Tennis. That ball goes deep, and it's caught. A leaping catch, robbing Tennis of a home run by Eric Davis. Tagging up and scoring from third is Ozzie Smith. It's 2-1 Cincinnati, but Eric Davis just brought one back. That would have been a tie ball game. So now with 2 outs, down a run, the pitcher Bob Forsch steps to the plate trying to help his own cause. Wow, so close. As ID Gesture in the chat says, damn, almost a home run. Davis robbed him. It could be a 2-2 ball game if it wasn't for Eric Davis. So now Bob Forsch looking to extend the inning here. He's 0 for 1. Browning works quickly. Here's the pitch. Forsch flies out to O'Neill and right. Inning over. The Cardinals do get on the board as we go to the top of the 6th. The 1990 Cincinnati Reds 2. The 1982 St. Louis Cardinals 1. Due up for the Reds. Oster, Sabo, and Oliver. Oster 1 for 2. Doubled in the second, grounded to the pitcher in the third. Righty-lefty matchup. Forsch looks in at Tennis. Tennis sets the target. The windup and the pitch. Oster swings, and that's a double to right center field as he split McGee and Hendrick. Oster has his second double of the game, and it's a leadoff double here in the top of the 6th, and here comes Chris Sabo. Hands of Stone, we shall call him. That's a favorable nickname for the great boxer Roberto Duran, but if you're an infielder playing third base, not so much. Sabo 1 for 2. Lined out to short in the second, then double off the left field wall in the 4th. The windup and the pitch to Sabo. And that ball goes out to Lonnie Smith. He makes the catch. Quickly firing it back in. Oster bluffs but does not go. So he stays at second. 1 out. And here comes the catcher, Joe Oliver. He's 0 for 2 today. Grounded to short. And then bunted. Trying to sacrifice in the 4th. But Forsch came off the mound like a cat and fired to Orge at third to apply the tag on Sabo, so he did not get a sacrifice. 0 for 2. Oliver wants to make amends for that. Forsch toes the rubber, looks back towards second, now looks in at Tennis, nods his head. Here's the pitch to Oliver. Oliver rips a shot to Orge, who fires to Hernandez for out number 2. Oster stays at second. Nice quick reaction by Dane Orge at third. So trying to help his own cause as the Reds are up 2-1 is the pitcher Tom Browning. Browning's thrown 61 pitches. Too soon to go to a pinch hitter. Yeah. We're going to let him swing away. He's 0 for 1. He grounded to the pitcher in the third, then had a sacrifice bunt in the fourth. Oster, 6 out of 10 base running ability. If somehow Browning gets a hit, Oster should score. He'll be off and running as there's 2 outs. Forsch is ready. Here's the pitch to Browning. And it's a fly ball to shallow right. Hendrick makes the catch, inning over. Top of the inning, that is. We go to the bottom of the 6th, the 1990 Cincinnati Reds 2, the 1982 St. Louis Cardinals 1. Due up for St. Louis, the top of the order, Lonnie Smith, Dane Orge, who made a fabulous play at third, and George Hendrick caught the final out in the top of the inning. If anyone gets on, Keith Hernandez. So Lonnie Smith, excellent bunter, 10 out of 10. Corners move in for the Reds. Sabo in at third. Morrison at first. Smith 0 for 2. Line to first, which was a really great reaction play by Morris in the first inning. And fly deep to right center in the third inning. The windup and the pitch by Browning. Lonnie Smith grounds it. Is that an out? It's a fair ball. Sabo throws him out. Nice stretch by Morris. So 1 out. Dane Orge comes to the plate. The Cardinal third baseman's 0 for 2. He has grounded out twice. The second time into a double play. Lefty-lefty matchup. Orge batted .400 in 1982 off left-handed pitching. That's why he was inserted in the lineup. Browning looking for the second out of the inning. Orge had no home runs in 82, so 1 swing of the bat to tie it up, not very likely. Oliver sets the target. Browning sets and delivers to Orge. But now they've called him back. A pinch hitter comes up. David Green. Green getting his first at-bat here in this one-and-done playoff tournament. In actuality, in 1982, Mr. Green batted .283. 2 home runs, 23 runs driven in. .286 off left-handed pitching. Lefty-righty matchup. Browning gave up a .269 average to right-handed batters. Oliver goes out to have a quick word with Browning now back behind the plate. Flashes the signs. Tom Browning nods his head. Here's the pitch to Green. And that is a single in the right field past the lunge of Oster. So a 1-out single, the tying run, and the very good base runner Green at first base. 9 out of 10 base running ability, 31% chance of stealing second. Hal Morris holding him on. And the very dangerous George Hendrick steps to plate. He's 1 for 2. He grounded out in the first and singled in the fourth. Hendrick had 19 round trippers in 82, and if he gets one now, he would put the Cardinals up by 1. Again, the Reds looking for a pitcher's best friend, the double play. They've gotten 2 today so far for Tom Browning. They pinch the middle with Larkin and Oster. Browning rocks and fires to Hendrick. And that's a line out to Paul O'Neill. Hendrick hit it hard, but right at the right fielder. So 2 outs, 1 on. Here comes Keith Hernandez. If you have gray hair and want to darken it up, check out Keith Hernandez in that commercial. Hair Club for, or what is that called? Something. I can't remember the name of the product, but it's a funny commercial with the former Knicks basketball player. Oh boy, I can see him. I can't think of him. If anyone in the chat can think of the former Knicks basketball player, all-time great, Clyde Frazier. It's a funny commercial, Keith Hernandez and Clyde Frazier. He's 1 for 2. Singled in the second, grounded into a double play in the fourth. 2 outs, 1 on. Browning up to 73 pitches. He's good for 115. Lefty-lefty matchup. Oliver sets the target. Browning's ready. Here's the pitch to Hernandez. And Hernandez is patient, and he works a walk. So with 2 outs, Green's at second, Keith Hernandez at first. And here comes Willie McGee. McGee's 0 for 2. Tying run at second, go-ahead run at first. Good speed on the base paths for the Cardinals. 9 out of 10 bunter. Oh boy, do I play the corners in. I have to respect that. I can't let him drop a bunt base hit. Corners are going to come in. Sabo in at third, Morris in at first. Browning's ready. 2 outs, 2 on. Oliver sets the target. Here's the pitch to Willie McGee. And that is off of left center field wall. McGee triples. 2 runs score. The Cardinals take the lead 3-2. And I can hear ID Gesture down in FLA cheering. Hallelujah. Hallelujah. The Cardinals are up 3-2. McGee triples. That is a tremendously clutch hit. Just missed a home run. So Browning, who was in total control up until the 5th and now the 6th, he's given up 3 runs in these 2 innings. Still a chance to get 1 more. With 2 outs, McGee at third and Ozzie Smith steps up plate. Wizard of Oz is 2 for 2 for the Cardinals. He has singled and doubled. On deck is Ramsey. Browning looks towards third, now in at Oliver. Nods his head. Here's the pitch to the Wizard of Oz. Oh, he plunked him. He came in too tight with that pitch. And now runners on the corners with 2 outs. And Mike Ramsey comes to the plate. He's 0 for 1. Ramsey had a sacrifice bunt in the second and grounded to first in the 5th. Chance to knock in another insurance run. Willie McGee at third, 90 feet away. 2 outs, 2 on. Here's the pitch by Browning. And he lines out to Larkin. So Ramsey hit it on the nose, but right at Barry Larkin. Inning over. But the Cardinals scored 2 on the Willie McGee triple to left center field and have taken the lead 3-2 over the 1990 Cincinnati Reds. We go to the top of the 7th. Due up for the Reds, top of the order, Billy Hatcher, Hal Morris, and Barry Larkin. If anyone gets on, the right fielder, Paul O'Neill. Let me quickly go to the chat. Beatles says, Cardinals are a great, great franchise. Beatles attorney then says, I'm doing a replay of the 1934 Cardinals Digital Diamond Baseball. ID Jester says, man, you do a ton of replays. You are a baseball addict. Yes, Beatles is. Beatles is a very knowledgeable baseball fan. How goes that replay, Beatles? So Billy Hatcher steps to the plate. He's 1 for 3. He has grounded out in the first, bunt single in the third, and struck out in the 4th. Forsch is ready. He sets and delivers to Hatcher. Hatcher sends that ball out to McGee, who goes back a few steps in center. He makes the catch, out number 1. 1 away, Hal Morris comes to the plate. Reds first baseman. He's 1 for 2. Fly to center in the first, walk in the third, and a bunt single in the 5th. He's going to try it again. Here's the pitch. Here comes the bunt attempt. Morris puts it down, and it's foul. So the count on Hal Morris, now no balls, 2 strikes. Don't think he'll be bunting for a hit now. Cardinals infield, outfield, straightaway, and normal. The windup and the pitch by Bob Forsch. Morris walks. So Morris comes back from an 0-2 count to earn a walk. He represents a tying run at first base. 7 out of 10 base runner. Keith Hernandez holding him on. Here comes Barry Larkin. Red shortstop's 0 for 2. He's made a couple of good defensive plays at short. He has grounded out in the first, walked in the third, and grounded out again in the fifth. Eight out of 10 hit and run. Forsch up to 101 pitches. He's good for 120. Gene Tennis flashes the sign. Bob Forsch nods his head. Tennis sets the target. Here's the pitch to Barry Larkin. Larkin grounds it to Ramsey, who steps on the bag and fires to Hernandez. Double play, inning over. Nice play by the defense there for the Cardinals. We go to the bottom of the seventh. The 1982 St. Louis Cardinals 3. The 1990 Cincinnati Reds 2. 2 up for the Cardinals. Gene Tennis, Bob Forsch, and then the top of the order, Lonnie Smith, as I'm trying to kill this bug on my screen. And I got him. Confirmed kill. Get a body bag. All right. So Gene Tennis is 0 for 1. Gino struck out in the second and then flied very deep to left center field. Smith scored. That was in the fifth. That was the Cardinals' first run. So Gino does have an RBI on the day. He digs in. Here's the pitch by Browning. And Gino sends that ball deep to left center field, but Eric Davis on the track makes the catch. Out number 1. Here comes the pitcher, Bob Forsch. He's 0 for 2. Let's see if they're going to let him hit. Browning's ready. Oliver sets the target. Here's the pitch to Forsch. And he grounds a Sabo, who throws to Morris. 2 up, 2 down. Beatles eternally in the chat says Cardinals are a blast, Al. Speed, power, and great rotation. I consider them as storied as the 27 Yankees. Beatles eternally is talking about the 1934 St. Louis Cardinals. He's doing a retro replay using digital diamond baseball. Thank you for that info, Beatles. So 2 outs, and here comes Lonnie Smith. He's 0 for 3 today. And corners will move in to protect against the bunt, as he's 10 for 10 for the bunt. Sabo will come in at third, and Morris in at first. The windup and the pitch by Tom Browning. Popped up, Oster calls for it behind the second base bat. He makes the catch, inning over. We go to the top of the 8th. St. Louis clings to a 1-run lead, 3-2, over the 1990 Cincinnati Reds. 2 up for the Reds. Paul O'Neill, Eric Davis, Ron Oster, and Chris Sabo if anyone gets on. Here comes Paul O'Neill. He's struggled so far at the plate. He's 0 for 2, and in the series, he's only 1 for 6. He does have 2 runs knocked in, but that came in Game 1 of the tournament. Chino sets the target. Here's the pitch by Forsch. O'Neill sends a deep fly ball out to left center field. Willie McGee is there at the track near the wall, makes the catch. 1 out. Here comes Eric Davis. He's 0 for 2. He robbed... Oh, who did he rob? I think it was Tennis. I think he robbed Tennis of the home run when he got his RBI when Smith tagged up from third. He's made some fine plays out in center field, Eric Davis has. He's 0 for 2. Looking to get off the schneid. Forsch works quickly. He sets in, delivers to Davis. And Davis sends that ball deep to his counterpart, Willie McGee, and he makes the catch in front of the wall in center for 2 outs, and that's it for Mr. Bob Forsch. They've gone to their closer, Bruce Sutter. So Bob Forsch, let's give you his final numbers. Forsch went 7 2/3 innings, 5 hits, 2 runs, both of them earned. Walked 5. In that horrific, 4 of them came in that horrific third, top of the third for Forsch. Well, he walked 2 runs in, and he struck out 3 through 107 pitches. He's in line for the victory. Bruce Sutter comes in looking to nail it down. 2 outs, no one on, and Ron Oster, 2 for 3. Oster off right-handed pitching, 298. He has 2 doubles on the day. Suter done with his warm-up tosses. Has a quick word with Gene Tennis. He's ready. Steps up on the mound. Toes the rubber. Looks in at Tennis. Here's the pitch to Oster. Grounder to Hernandez. Foul. It's a foul ball. Foul ball. Beatles eternally says, I love games this tight. It's a nail biter here, folks. 2 outs. The count is 1 ball, 2 strikes on Ron Oster. Suter rubs up the baseball. Back up on the hill. He's ready to work. Here's the pitch. Oster swings, drowns it to the Wizard of Oz, who throws to Hernandez. Inning over. We go to the bottom of the 8th. The 1982 St. Louis Cardinals 3. The 1990 Cincinnati Reds 2. What team will advance to the semifinals in this tournament? We shall see shortly. Browning still out on the mound. He's thrown 97 pitches. He's good for 115. Reds have their bullpen up. If he gets into any trouble, he'll be quickly yanked. And now, Ken Oberkfell comes up. I believe Oberkfell's a pinch hitter. Oberkfell is 0 for 1 in this one-and-done playoff tournament. In actuality, he batted .289 in 1982 with 2 home runs and 34 runs driven in. 7 out of 10 bunter. We have to respect that. Let's move our corners in. Sabo in at third, Morrison at first. Browning nods his head. Here's the pitcher, Oberkfell. Grounder to Larkin, and Larkin boots the ball. Oberkfell reaches on the E6 if you're scoring at home. Big insurance run at first base, 7 out of 10 base runner. Morris holding him on, and here comes the dangerous George Hendrick. He's 1 for 3. He has grounded out, singled, and lined out. This could be Browning's last. Actually, that's going to be it. That's going to be it for Browning. Let's go to the pen. Okay. Randy Myers, 31 saves, and there's no tomorrow. There's no tomorrow. Browning hits second. So I think what we're going to do is we're going to bring Randy Myers in. Batting average against lefties, 181. Batting average against righties, 197. Earned run average, 2.08. 31 saves. We're going to bring Randy Myers in. Oster will come out of the game. Now we need a second baseman. We go with Mariano Duncan. So Mariano Duncan will bat third in the top of the 9th. Alright, so Myers comes in. Randy Myers. The lefty to face the right-handed George Hendrick. Myers in 1990. 4 wins, 6 losses, 31 saves, as I stated. Earned run average 2.08. Struck out 98, walked 38. Batting average against 193. In the tournament, batting average against 143. Lefties hit 181, righties hit 197 off Randy Myers. Oberkfell at first, no outs. Larkin and Duncan looking to turn 2 up the middle. Here's the pitch by Myers to Hendrick. There goes Oberkfell, and Oliver guns him down. A risky play there, trying to get Oberkfell into scoring position. And Joe Oliver said, none of that, son. The bench is over there. Go sit down where you belong. So 1 out, no balls, 1 strike on Hendrick. He steps back in the right-hander's batter's box. He's ready to grip and rip. Myers gets the sign. Oliver sets the target. Here's the pitch to Hendrick. Fly ball, foul. Down the right field line. The count's no balls, 2 strikes now. Myers asks, He doesn't like that baseball. He asks for another one. Oliver gets it from the ump, lobs it out to Myers. Myers steps back up on the hill. Looks in. Here's the pitch to Hendrick. Grounded to Duncan, over to Morris. Second out of the inning. So there's 2 outs, no one on here in the bottom of the 8th. 3-2 Cardinals, and here comes Keith Hernandez. 1 for 2. Hernandez singled in the 2nd, then grounded out in the 4th, and walked in the 6th. Lefty-lefty matchup. Myers nods his head. Here's the pitch to Hernandez. 2 outs, no one on. Grounded to Duncan, over to Morris. Inning over. We go to the top of the 9th. Bruce Sutter and the 1982 St. Louis Cardinals 3 outs away from advancing to the semifinals in this one-and-done tournament. They'll have to get through Chris Sabo, Joe Oliver, and Mariano Duncan. If anyone gets off, the top of the order for the 1990 Cincinnati Reds, Billy Hatcher. Chris Sabo was 1 for 3. He had 25 home runs in 1990. Could tie this game up with 1 swing of the bat. ID Gesture doesn't want to see that. Sabo lined out in the 2nd, doubled in the 4th. Just missed a homer in the 4th. And fly to left in the 6th. Tension grows here at Busch Stadium. Sutter's ready. Here's the pitch to Sabo. It's popped up. Ramsey calling for it at second base. He makes the catch for out number 1. Cardinals throw the ball around the infield. Now get it back to Sutter. Here comes Joe Oliver. And Oliver will not bat. As we look for a pinch hitter. Herm Whittingham bats .280 off right-handed pitching with a slugging percentage of .455. Definitely a possibility. It's going to be Herm Whittingham coming off the bench. The pinch hit for Joe Oliver. Hard-hitting Herm Whittingham gets his first at-bat in this tournament. It could be his last. In actuality, Herm Whittingham in 1990 batted .256. 3 home runs and 17 runs driven in. Off right-handed pitching, as I stated, .280. Righty-lefty matchup here for Bruce Sutter. Whittingham 8 out of 10 bunter, but he's not up there to bunt. Sutter's ready. The windup and the pitch to Whittingham. Grounded over, Philly charges it, throws to Hernandez, and they just get him. Great stretch by Keith Hernandez. 2 outs. The Cardinals move up to the top of the dugout. They're ready. 1 out away from the semifinals, and the only man standing before them to stop them is Mariano Duncan. Duncan is 1 for 1. He had a pinch hit double against the New York Mets in Game 1 of this tournament, as the Reds rallied in the 9th inning against the Mets. In actuality, he batted .306. 10 home runs, 55 runs driven in. Off right-handed pitching, .227. Tennis flashes the sign. Bruce Sutter nods his head. Tennis sets the target. He sets and delivers. Here's the pitch to Duncan. And it's a single to left center field. So Duncan's 2 for 2 in this tournament. Beatles says, hold on, Cardinals. Beatles returns and says, Al, are you going to play the champ of one of and done against? Yes, I am. I'm playing the champion of this tournament against the 71 Bucks in a best of 7. I'm going to do that. I was already thinking about that, so that should be fun. And we might ask you to help me manage the Bucks. That would be fun. And I'm still trying to, just a quick update on the League of Subs. I'm trying to figure out a better way before we get back to it. It's not going anywhere, the League of Subs. I want a little more interaction with the chat. And I'm trying to figure out if I can get the Google Hang Up at the same time. Because it'll be even funner if we can get people talking and all, like myself and the other two people managing. It'd be a lot of fun. I don't know. So, if not, we'll just do it through the chat again. I'm trying to... Beatles Attorney and I fooled around with it, but I couldn't get the sound to come through. I think I figured it out. So we'll have to try it again, Beatles. So. Plus, I haven't talked to you in a while on Skype. We talked that one time. We had so much fun. We gotta make some time for that. All right, tying run at first base, Mariano Duncan, 8 out of 10 base runner Hernandez to hold him on. Brings up Billy Hatcher. He's 1 for 4. Again, the Cardinals 1 out away from advancing. 2 outs, 1 on. The windup and the pitch by Bruce Sutter. Hatcher swings, grounds it to Ramsey, throws it, Hernandez, ball game over. The 1982 St. Louis Cardinals survive 3-2 over the 1990 Cincinnati Reds and advance to the semifinals in the National League bracket in this one-and-done tournament. Hats off to the 1982 Cardinals. Congrats. And hats off to you, ID Jester, who is a huge Cardinals fan. Could we see a matchup of the 82 Cardinals if they possibly win this tournament? And the 71 Bucks, the beloved Pittsburgh Pirates, who Beatles internally loves absolutely? We shall see. I mean, the 71 Pirates. I think I said the 72 Bucks, didn't I? Alrighty, let's go to the box score. So before I do, let me say thank you to Beatles Eternally. Oh, ID Gesture. I love to yak. I love to yak, my friend. I'm a yacker. I want to say thank you to ID Gesture. Thank you to Beatles Eternally. We had a few other people in the chat. Let me go up. Tribes Fan, thank you. Expos Strat Baseball Network was in the chat. That's the first time I've seen him in the chat. Thank you very much. He was getting ready for his live stream. So check out Expos Strat Baseball Network, as well as ID Gesture, as well as Tabletop Baseball, as well as Higher Ground Gaming with Eric and Mr. Brody, as well as Baseball Demos, as well as What's Blazing in Sports for boxing. And I forgot somebody. Gary J. He also has a wonderful channel. So thank you very much, gentlemen. And we're going to do the box score. And we'll probably come back in about 10 minutes, 15 minutes. And we'll give you game 2. Take care, Beatles. Take care, ID Gesture. I'm going to go through the box score now. Box score will be up in a moment. We'll go through the pitching first. Hope everyone enjoyed it. As Beatles says, thank you, Al. Game was a blast. Thank you, Beatles. And ID. As ID says bye. And remember to check out his channel. Lots of fun, ID Gesture. Alright, so Tom Browning took the loss for the 1990 Cincinnati Reds, who were eliminated. He went 7 innings. He didn't pitch bad. 6 hits, 3 runs. They were all earned. Walked 1, struck out 2 through 103 pitches. Myers came in, pitched 1 inning. Clean slate. Bob Forsch for the 82 Cardinals got the win. He's 1-0. He pitched 7 2/3 inning. 5 hits, 2 runs, 2 earned runs. No home runs, 5 walks, 3 strikeouts. The killer inning for Bob Forsch was the 3rd. He walked 4 runners. After 2 outs, he gave up a bunt single to Billy Hatchell, then walked 4 runners. So he walked 2 runs in. Take away that inning, Forsch was excellent. The save goes to Bruce Sutter. That's save number 2. He has saved both games for the 82 Cardinals. He pitched an inning and a third. Gave up 1 hit. That was to Mariano Duncan, but no runs. He threw 23 pitches. Forsch threw 107. Once again, the 1982 Cardinals advance. First team to the National League semifinal bracket. They'll face the winner of the Giants Oh God, who are they playing? Who are the Giants playing? I can't remember. But that game's coming up shortly. Let's quickly go to the batting back score. Billy Hatcher, for the 1990 Cincinnati Reds, Billy Hatcher 1 for 5 with a run scored. He struck out once. Hal Morris 1 for 2 with a run scored. He walked twice. Larkin 0 for 3 with a walk. O'Neill 0 for 3 with an RBI and a walk and a strikeout. Davis 0 for 3 with an RBI, walk, and strikeout. Oster 2 for 4 with 2 doubles. Myers pitched and not bat. Sabo 1 for 4 with an error. He had a double. Oliver, the catcher, 0 for 3, though he did throw a base runner out at second. Whittingham, the pinch hitter, 0 for 1. Browning, the starting pitcher, 0 for 2. Mariano Duncan, 1 for 1. He was 2 for 2 in the tournament. In total, the 1990 Cincinnati Reds, 31 at-bats, 2 runs, 6 hits, 2 RBIs. Those were walked in. Again, that horrible inning for Bob Forsch in the third. They walked 5 times, struck out 3 times, had 3 doubles. Team batting average, .221 in defeat. For the victorious 1982 St. Louis Cardinals, leadoff batter Lonnie Smith 0 for 4. Dane Orge 0 for 2. Green, the pinch hitter, 1 for 1 with a run scored. Oberkfell 0 for 1. He came in to play third base after. Hendrick, the right fielder, 1 for 4. Keith Hernandez 1 for 3 with a run scored and a walk. Willie McGee 1 for 3 with 2 RBIs. He had a huge 2-out triple in the bottom of the 6th. That would give the Cardinals the lead, and that spelled ball game over, folks. And he struck out once. Ozzie Smith, 2 for 2 with a run scored. Ramsey, Tennis, and Forsch were offers. They didn't get a hit. In total, the 1980 St. Louis Cardinals in victory, 27 at-bats, 3 runs, 6 hits. So each team only had 6 hits. 3 RBIs, 1 walk, 2 strikeouts, 1 double, and 1 triple. The team batting average for the Cardinals, .279. Quickly to the recap, and then we shall call it a stream. Cincinnati scored their 2 runs in the 3rd inning. They sent 8 batters to the plate, scoring 2 runs on a hit and 4 walks. Forsch just totally lost. After that bunt base hit, after the first 2 outs of the inning, he just fell apart. O'Neill walked, scoring Hatcher to take the lead 1-0. Davis walked, scoring Morris. Cincinnati was up 2-0, and that was it. They never scored again. St. Louis scored 1 run in the 5th on a hit. Gene Tennis hit a sacrifice fly ball, made it 2-1. He just missed a home run. Eric Davis robbed Gino of a 2-run blast that would have tied the game up. But he got that sacrifice fly for the RBI. Then, in the 6th, the Cardinals sent 7 batters to the plate, scoring 2 runs on 2 hits and a walk. Willie McGee tripled with 2 outs to knock in 2 runs, and the Cardinals took the lead for good, 3-2. For Cincinnati, Ron Oster, 2 for 4 with 2 doubles. Bob Forsch, 7 2/3 innings, picked up the win. Suter got the save. Tom Browning the loss. This is Al, Red Sox fan, saying thank you very much for joining me in this one-and-done game tournament. 1990 Cincinnati Reds 2, the 1982 St. Louis Cardinals 3. The Cardinals advance to the semifinals in the National League bracket. If you like this, please hit the like button. Please hit the share button. And if you're not a subscriber, please subscribe. The more, the merrier. We're looking to grow the channel and also the other channels that I've mentioned. We're looking to grow all of our channels, of the channels that I mentioned. And that would be ID Gesture, Tabletop Baseball, Baseball Demos, Higher Ground Gaming with Eric and Mr. Brody, What's Blazing in Sports, Broke Black Man 94, Phil the Issues Guy, Dirty Issues Gaming, Gary J. And I'm forgetting someone. I always forget someone, but just check out my page. All those channels that are on my page, that's what I consider the network that I'm in. Help us help you. Once again, let's all grow together. Health, happiness, take care. Bye-bye. I'll be back with the second semifinal game. See you soon. God bless.